Oil pressure potential problem is flashing the oil light at idle. It's had some work done to it. The light is turned on by the sensor. So we're going to go ahead and put a good old fashioned pressure gauge on it so we can actually see what's going on. So for fast idle, that is pretty low. That's barely over 20. Can't always believe the light on the dash, so you should always go with a mechanical gauge. Remove the oil pressure switch right here, and remember this is a Japanese thread. Put in an oil pressure gauge and actually see what's going on. S2000s usually have a ton of oil pressure, so right here is saying at idle at 176 degrees Fahrenheit. You should have about 36 psi. I think the light comes on at something like 5 psi. So at 5 psi, you've essentially wiped out your main bearings and possibly the crank. At 3000 RPMs, you're going to see 85. We typically see S2000s peg 100 psi by 3000 RPMs. They don't have an oil pressure issue. So unfortunately, if you do have this issue, it could be quite serious. So he had a list of things to do, but we didn't want to start doing things on his list and selling him things if it wasn't a good idea to spend any more money. It should be taking 100 by now. I didn't check everything else, check the oil level. Yeah, it should be 100. I hear a little bit of bottom end noise right there. I just start to hear it. Ah, that sucks. Anyway, my S2000, I want to put the new master cylinder brace on here. Well, the new version is prettier. I'm constantly trying to come up with better parts, not just function, but looks. If you don't constantly try and improve your stuff, I mean, you'll essentially still be tuning the carburetor and telling everybody how good that is. But let's get this one off, and I'm going to show you it compared to the new style finish on this one. I'm so excited about it. So on the 0405, this is very close through here. What you've often got to do is place the hardware through here, then assemble it in there because it's so tight. And there is a slight variance on those lines. We've also seen a slight variance on this distance here too, based on if the car's been in a slight bump. That's the design right there. You can see the brush marks underneath the anodizing. This is CNC etched. It's pretty good, but it would be slightly fuzzy on the edges where the essentially the anodizing would have tiny chips. This is what this one looks like. It looks absolutely beautiful. It matches the battery tie. It's the same anodizing finish right there. Look how beautiful that is. Well, that thing just scared the hell out of me. It's a gecko. So there it is. It's been good. It's been nice. It was the best part at the time, but we now have something better. I'm just kidding. We're not throwing it away. If you come in and get work in the shop, we'll just give it to you. All right. This is why you don't put spacers on your car and then shave the bolts and nuts down to nothing.
Hey, maybe give me the socket too, but
it doesn't look like this. Doesn't look like this hardly enough to get a socket on there.
No, not really.
So we made a couple of changes on the new one that's in the store right now. First off, we kicked this back 2 degrees. First, to get it closer to level. Also, for you guys that have the big Yeti cup, including Esther, the cup is really close to the dash. The new design kicks that back a little bit. And we've also extended the height right here. This is 20 millimeters taller, so that when you slide your passenger seat, if you bring that seat all the way forward, it would rub this. Now this clears it. It's 20 millimeters taller. Look how pretty that is. It's a much nicer finish, and the logo is now lasered on there. That is just the nicest finish. So this is billet. It is 500 thousandths thick. It's 6061. Well, we did some testing with this. If you've ever seen what this looks like, your master cylinder is coming out of the firewall on a slight angle. So this here is not on a direct path with that. We've got a slight angle. So let's say you're putting 800 pounds of force on this. You're actually pushing this up slightly this way, as well as this. It's got a slight upwards deflection. So we did some software analysis on this, And there's a couple of actually knockoff ones on the market, which is actually, I guess, flattering to see. It means that our system or our design works. This goes back to 1999 on the S2000, by the way. The very first one I made was in 99. This is actually version 4 of the billet. So these are some of the numbers we got based on, this is 50 pounds of deflection on this pushing down or up. This is simulating probably about 2,000 pounds pushing this way, so you got a slight deflection. But with a 50-pound force pushing down on this tip here, this is some of the deflection numbers. This is the current billet aluminum one that we have right now, which is 0.45. This is this one right here. There's a lot in the shape, the design, and the thickness. So the other ones that we had was the high carbon steel, which was our early one, which was just over 1/8 of an inch. I think it was 4 millimeters, so it's a little bit more than this. This is the closest we could get with the software, which is 1/8 of an inch. Ours is just a little bit thicker than that, but it shows you actually how much deflection there is. Now, the one that is currently the knockoff version, that's what they're making out of. It's cold rolled steel, 1/8 of an inch. So they've got basically 9 millimeters of deflection. This is our billet one right here. The new one we are making is going to be 3.4 millimeters right here. And it's the strut tower friendly one. So it's going to be much thinner. So to try and get a thin brace to be as rigid as it is and keep enough thread for like a strut tower bar or something is going to make a huge difference to your braking feel, but everything is going to fit correct. This is the new design right here. The new one should be here any day now, the billet one. But as you see, it's actually got more shape to it. It's thinner through here, so you can fit your strut tower bar on, which is this distance right here. But it's got the shape through here. That's because the last guy has never replaced the washer. Actually,
that is.
the last several guys. So there is somebody on YouTube that occasionally comes in the comments. We used to call him troll back in the day. That's the guy that just disagrees with anything you say. If you say, yeah, the sky's blue, he's going to tell you it's not, and argue about it. Any of you guys remember the forum days? This S2000 is here for maintenance, and then as soon as we're finished with this, we're going to call him, and he's going to bring his other car in. He has a TSX, which has been on the channel before. We're doing the trans, diff, engine oil, brake flush, clutch flush, and after looking at the clutch fluid, we noticed it is leaking from the master. Very, very common. You got to flush this fluid every 3 years, they're saying, on clutch fluid, and that should help prevent the master from leaking. But very, very important to do all this maintenance. These cars are fantastic, but you still got to take care of them. This is the area of your master. You notice it's missing? That's because we took it out. Let me turn that light off.
Do an auto swap on this one.
Do an auto swap. Put in an auto. Pedal delete. That's where it would be. That is the master right here. Actually, no, that's a new one. Okay, what I want to show you is the pedal. Reason we take this out is this button here, as you see, is almost disintegrated, and the one above there, I'm not going to say the same thing as I always do. I feel like I keep telling you that we can't get that button replaced in there unless you're an Olympic gymnast and you weigh 75 pounds. Well, we're none of those. You're shocked, aren't you? So to replace it, it's easier just to take the pedal out. I love air ratchets.
Yeah.
I love those things. Remind me, if I ever buy one, to throw it away immediately.
That's the soundtrack of our life.
I hate that thing. That guy that leaves it out, I want to steal it. So there's 3 buttons, one there, one at the top, and one on the brake. You know what? Use this. Let's do this all day. No, I don't think he's annoyed by that at all. This does way better. You don't have a hose dragging behind it. Who uses air anymore? I bet they use carburetors too.
We'll still bleed it. It works.
Yeah.
See what?
I'm bleeding everywhere.
Why are you bleeding?
That's what you have to do when you put in a clutch master.
It's so chicks know you've been working.
Yeah.
Chicks do like bleeding, dude.
Chicks do love to see scars and blood because their guys been working hard.
Rocky Mountain High.
right away with camera. Camera's recording.
Oh, hi.
Everything you just said, camera's on. So this one is all set. Is that froze? Oh, look at this. Did you even go in here?
I wasn't looking at it now.
Oh, this is a prize. Thank you so much. You all do amazing work. Please accept this gift on my behalf so you can enjoy some food and drinks after a hard day's work. That is awesome. Ooh. That is amazing sandwiches, and that is Duncan. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. I'm going to share this with Esther. See what's going on with Esther this morning. How was your day?
It's good.
Well, you got like 2 computers rolling. Look at this.
Well, I do. What?
That's nice. This is
Holy
a
moly.
sandwich shop, which you said the sandwiches are great. We're going to try, and a Duncan card. That's from our friend John.
That is so nice, John.
Thank you so much.
John.
Really, that is much appreciated.
For sure.
We have to call him and get his TSX coming. The S2000 is just finished. All right, so the S2000 is being picked up, and the TSX is here. Look at that, a wagon. We did show this on the channel maybe a few months ago, and we did lowering on this. It's pretty cool. You don't see wagons, and you don't see manuals, that's for sure. So let's see. Let's pull this thing in, and we'll go over his list. I think it's just maintenance. You know how to do some pretty trick things, but the rear view cameras are never really something to be excited about. The Civic Type R isn't much better than that. John, this is a note. This is the fluid we need. It's got to be Acura ATF, but we're going to go a little bit cheaper and do the Honda ATF.
Don't tell anybody.
It's the same thing. It's just a different label. Coolant, brake fluid, and the trans ATF DW1.
I heard the Acura fluid actually has leather in it.
It's a little bit more premium, a little bit better. So that's what we're doing.
Z. This is the Z model.
Is that the original belt? We should probably check that.
Yeah, it looks like it might be.
Yeah, we should probably check that and ask him.
I'll check the mileage on it. It's a most of these cars are 100,000 mile belt.
Yeah, I think these cars come out of the dealership with 100,000 miles. You never see, you never see these cars low mileage anymore. So George said, "Hey, why don't you take my car?" I haven't driven this since he did the shifter and the coilovers. So let's give this a whirl. I'm not going to show you where his GDI antenna is. So he also changed the coilovers. He has. Remember the last ones? If you remember, I did a drive with this and I said the car is great, but the coilovers were terrible. I need to put it in reverse. That is a really short throw shifter from what I'm used to. But it had like, I don't know whether were some really clicky coilovers, and it just ruined the car because they made so much noise. These I think are, I forgot, I filmed him putting them in, I don't remember. But this is a K24, this is Uncle Ray. We did a video on this showing you where it started and where it is now. It does 240 wheel and he daily drives it. And it's, I would say it's probably one of the most fun last tuner cars you can get. This is the 7th gen Civic, essentially EP3 kind of model year, but it's still a lightweight body. It's not like the 8th gen that started to get pretty big, and of course the 9th, 10th, and 11 just got huge. One thing immediately noticeable is it's got that lightweight feel. It feels very agile, and being a naturally aspirated motor, it's very lively. So I would say 1,000 times better. If it was me, I think I would lower the seat just about an inch and a half just to make it really close to that seating position I like. But a little bit quieter exhaust, but what a fun car. 240 wheel horsepower, 7th gen Civic. It's one of those cars you don't even think about, and they're inexpensive. You can get these everywhere. This has just made this so much more convenient. So reach anywhere. S2000 is gone and done. The TSX is done. They're picking it up tomorrow. It's ready to go. If you like the content, don't forget, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to put it down in the bottom right about here. And stay tuned for future videos. If you haven't seen, I bought a C8 Z06. It's probably my dream car. I know it sounds silly. It's so many cars rolled into one, high revving, naturally aspirated, V8 flat plane crank. Sounds like a race car, but it's fun. It might be one of the last fun cars that we get. The world is going electrification. I don't want to be a part of it. So I'm enjoying what is out there. And like I tell you, enjoy your cars. The phone holders are in stock as well as just the bracket. If you want to buy the bracket, and again, we've tried to keep the price as low as we can. You can buy just the bracket and attach whatever phone holder you want to, or you can buy our whole kit and it comes with that bracket and the phone holder that I like. The S2000 wrench right here, we've sold so many of these, I can't believe we're almost out of our first batch. So we've got another batch coming, so if this goes out of stock, don't panic, we have more coming, and we're doing our best to keep the price the same. We're not jacking our prices up like everybody else. Of course, the wrench right here, yes, the S2000 is notorious for the cap falling off. If you don't tighten this enough, it falls off, blows oil everywhere. This disappears behind the valve cover, and if you put it on tight, it's hard to get off. So we made a wrench to make that easier, so you don't scratch up your cap. If you're like me and you want your valve cover to look nice and clean and your cap to all look nice and not scratched, that's why we made the cap. We have the filter tool for the regular small frame filter, which is pretty much everything is all the same on that. And then on the Civic, we have the cap tool that fits the Civic Type R, the Integra Type S, and pretty much everything with a cap. Right now we have 2 of those document bags left. That is it. They're the silver embroidery right here. That's it. Get them while you can. This is the last 2. Once they're gone, they're gone. We're not making these anymore. We have the belts in stock for the Jackson Racing Superchargers, the 650 and the 800. These we sell a ton of. These go out of stock. We make these as fast as we can. They're often out of stock, but just click on notify me, and when they come back in stock, you'll be the first to know. The JDI main relay kit, this is an absolute must. We just got the Type 1s back in stock. We have 2 of the Type 2s. This is a direct replacement for your main relay. This is an absolute must. You gotta get one of these. That's the problem with almost all of the early Hondas. They leave you stranded without main relay. Motor Compacto letters. These are purple. We have a few left of purple. I think we're almost out of black. We're getting these, and almost out of pink. I think the red are gone. So pink, black, or purple. That's the colors we have right now. All button's good. Spark plug bolts are good. VTEC solenoid bolts are good. We're out of dress-up bolts. We're making some more any day now. Also, the fence switches, just got 3 back in stock. These have been hard to get. The headlamps, these are still my favorite product. I use ours every day. The one that I have in the shop, George has his own. We're still using this. It's a 1.5 years later. Remember when all the ads were popping up that showed some guy working on a transmission and aggressively waving his head to show you how cool it was? Well, the prices were all over the place. Some places were charging like $35 for these things. These are still the original ones that we've been using, and we still sell them at the same cost. So it's a 1.5 years old, and I use it almost every day. It's held up great. This is the function I use the most. I just put it on the strip and run it as bright as it will go. So it's got the wave function. It's kind of clever. I don't use it. I think it's kind of gimmicky. But you've got bright, dim, and then the side light right here, which is kind of handy. I've used that a couple of times, but for the most part, I just use the main light across there. And it charges with a USB-C, which is included. And it charges pretty fast. So there it is. Thanks for watching. Check out the store, check out the channel, and we'll see you on the next video.